Welcome to When Will It End? It's a podcast. Two friends. We watch the movies. We start with one, go to two, go to two, go to three. We did this in another episode, but it was so much fun. We're going to do it again.
You do it a lot.
Yeah.
I was going to do a supercut of every instance of you explaining what the show is.
Hey, you know what I got to say to that?
What?
Welcome to New York, baby. Okay, so we're watching the series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's part of our podcast, movies, film series where we watch a whole franchise, and it's so much fun to watch all of the movies.
I'm not sure that's really the point of the show.
It's fun to watch all of the movies.
Look how fun it is to
It's
watch.
fun.
I mean, that's usually what I say.
Yeah.
I love this podcast.
I love this podcast too. Charles, I love you. I love our podcast. Kisses. Kisses all around. We're drinking Seltzies. We got our Pringies. It's very disgusting outside, which is a great emotional space to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows too.
Yeah, I was driving over here, and I put on some Mojave 3, which I haven't listened to probably at least like 6 years. It's great rain driving music.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
A little insight into the, what happens behind the scenes to make this possible.
Mojave 3.
Mojave 3. So I want to just address one thing. We have experienced some confusion. This is not an episode. If you found this looking for a review of Out of the Shadows, Understanding Sexual Addiction by Patrick J. Carnes, PhD, this is not a review of that book.
We should have done that.
Honestly, sexual addiction.
And you know what else?
What's that?
I think Mikey should have read that book.
Yeah, well, Mikey the frickin' turtle, he loves sex. Though it's not clear if he's had it. Though we learn in this movie, Splinter says, "You're done being young now, and now you're young men. So let's go on and kill Krang in the Technodome, my guys."
Jesus. And that's honestly the actual line.
It's the actual full
That's not
line.
Josh pretending and making funny.
Yeah, no, it's serious stuff. I will say this. There was a review from KL Mark of the sex addiction book that said 4 stars, insightful. This is the Kindle edition, so not the paperback.
Okay,
my
that's too
spouse
bad.
is a sex addict, and his therapist recommended he read this book. I decided to read it as well, and this is supported by his therapist. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I found it helpful to know there are others like my husband, and that counseling and working a 12-step program brought some peace and hope back to other marriages and families. We are still in early stages of diagnosis and therapy, but I have hope and courage for what lies ahead. I cannot control my husband, but I can control me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to compare that to a review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Go Technodrome, says this Seed of Mars. 6 out of 10. Yikes. Mindless superhero brain candy zoom.
Wait, what?
Mindless superhero brain candy zoom. That's
Do you have any punctuation to help me out with that?
mindless, superhero, brain candy, zoom.
What do you think?
Zoom. Bad jokes, great effects, explosions go boom.
Oh, it's a poem.
Okay, you may remember from the previous film that the Turtles are a bit of, they're rappers. They love to rap.
There's that scene in the elevator.
My
My name is Mikey, and I'm here to say I'm a turtle.
Trying to get laid.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
that
was good. Fuck.
Sade.
Yeah.
Sade. Okay. My neck muscles are tighter than piano wires, and I've sweated through this week enough this week to fill a swimming pool, says the Seed of Mars. At the end of a long week of mad work, sometimes you just want to sit down and switch off your brain.
I love that. Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I love that.
Right.
When I was a kid in high school.
Oh, please go on.
My English teachers were always like, never use I, never be a voice, always just let the essay be the essay. You're not the essay.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No, you should be the center of everything.
That's what the essay is. The essay is you. And you can't just let fucking essays get in the way. I love that what is this person's name? Zoom?
This Seed of Mars. Zoom, baby. Zoom,
Wait,
zoom,
what?
brain
That's
candy.
this person's name? This Seat of Mars.
Yeah, I don't know what that's a reference to. Nerds, sound off in the comments.
Anyway, I like that he's explaining his mindset or her.
Okay, no, hold on. This
Or
is
there.
actually a good-ass review. For a 6 out of 10 review, this is a good-ass review.
What do you mean? Are 6 out of 10s usually not great reviews?
Well, I think it implies a certain level of mediocrity that, a 6 out of 10, isn't that more damning in a way?
Oh, I thought you meant most people giving movies 6 out of 10 write bad reviews.
Yeah,
You're saying
that's the thing. If you've ever done that, you're a bad person.
Yeah, but you're saying 4 is 6. This person's maybe saying a 7 or an 8. But really
The tone is very warm, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, yeah. Well, he's sweaty.
I would give, for example, Ford versus Ferrari like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
And which is not
Can we find out what the Seat of Mars
Okay.
gave Ford versus Ferrari?
Ford versus Ferrari. I'll tell you in a minute. It's not important. Okay, so let's continue with the review. So thank you, Turtles. I like it when you hit stuff. And we can attest, having seen 2 of these movies, the scenes where the horrifying CG models are whirling through a chromatic nightmare scape and just swinging things around in what is certainly just a computer mainframe or whatever.
It's the
that's
main
the best
core.
part of the movie.
It's the computer
We
core.
were talking watching this movie that at this point in this segment of the series, we are the most upset and viscerally flinch whenever the main characters appear.
Yeah, it's true. We were like, Will Arnett, we don't like him, but all right. Megan Fox, mistreated and a bad actor. And then Laura Linney, you love her. You
The
gave
great
her
Laura Linney.
You gave her an award.
She brings that Linney magic.
What did you give her? The Turtle Award? No,
I don't give a Turtle
You gave her an
Award.
Oscar, but the Turtle Oscar.
No. You're confusing. The Turtle Oscar goes to Tyler Perry.
Oh, right.
Tyler Perry earns his Turtle Oscar in this.
I think they both get it.
They split it. Well, best actress in Turtle film, best
Sure.
actor in Turtle film.
Turtle Oscars.
Yeah, Turtle Oscars. Yeah,
We
okay.
should do the Turtle Oscars this year.
I would love that. Looking back over the 6 movies we watched for this fucking miniseries.
Let's do it at the end of this episode. Let's give out some Turtle
Okay,
Oscars.
thank you, Turtles. Like when you hit stuff. Is this a dumb movie? Posits the Seed of Mars. The obvious answer is yes. Of course, it's dumb. It's more superhero schlock. Kitty fair enjoyed by 30-somethings.
Wait, is this still the poem, or is
This is the poem, yeah.
Did they leave the poem? Is it rhyming still?
No, this is no longer
Okay,
rhyming.
no longer a
But I don't know. Posits the Seed of Mars. Any fights with martial arts is a bit like a magician's sleight of hand. It's too fast to follow completely. The Seed of Mars, agreed. But if done well, it is not. We can see sophistication in the movement. There is none. And the fight is a bit of a story in itself.
That's true. Wow.
There's the setup, escalation of conflict, then boom, resolution. I feel like the beauty of the internet is that I can get an education without going to film school.
Yeah, or going to school.
Why go to Tisch?
Sure. What is
Why
that?
go to Cal Arts?
The Toronto Institute of Science and Health?
Yeah. There's the setup, escalation. The best parts of this movie are not of the turtles talking, agreed. But when things go all smashy, smash.
Is that really what he wrote?
But when things go all smashy, smash.
Wait, read it one more time. I want to see if it's the
The
same.
best parts of this movie are not of the turtles talking. Again,
Yeah,
could not agree
absolutely.
more. That is easily the...
Well, no, I want to actually. I want to talk about how when you make a movie, I already
Yeah.
hate the turtles.
They're,
I've talked
yeah.
about it. They're not my favorite characters. But now we're at the point where when they show up on screen, like if we had a medical professional in the room, they would have little graphs and charts and papers and all that stuff. Spike, beeps, alarms, like it's like, oh, I have an emotional. Just it feels like when like someone takes your toy, or like when your parent leaves you in your room, something like that, where you're nervous.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? I don't want to be in this situation.
That's what I'm saying. These movies are so bludgeoning and horrible that like nothing good can come from the actual main characters in the movie showing up. Like
Right,
nothing
and
good can come.
That is a problem.
It's
when you're
such a problem.
Titular characters. Fuck, I'd probably.
Just fucking roll it, baby. Spiking.
Mikey.
Gotta have high hopes for living.
Stop! You're dating the fucking podcast. This is gonna be. No one's gonna be doing that dance.
By the time people hear this, we will all know that Mayor Pete has locked down the DNC's support for a run against Evil Orange Man, and pretty soon we'll all be polite people who speak Finnish and play piano and serve in the U.S. military.
Speak Finnish, like Bebop or Rocksteady. Wait,
I think
Rocksteady.
Is it Bebop? I can't remember.
No, it's Rocksteady.
They're
'cause
great characters
he goes,
though, and they're good in this movie.
his name's Rocksteady, but he's Finnish.
Govnat.
Cause I finish everything.
That was pretty good stuff.
And they go, my man.
Hey, look at their dicks. Look at their fucking mutant
That
dicks.
sucks. That fucking
Okay,
sucks.
let's
We'll
just
talk
get
about that later.
That's okay. Smash, where the film drags with its human characters who have way too much screen time.
Wait, we just disagreed with Spaceman Mars.
This Seed of Mars, where the film. Okay, Casey Jones is a 30-something talks like a 12-year-old. Someday I'm going to be a detective. And Shredder, regrettably, is mostly without his mask and doesn't throw a single pie.
Doesn't throw a pie?
Nope.
Does he
Megan
throw
Fox
pies
is
in the
wearing
first
less
one?
makeup this time around, but in
No, she's not.
acting, less is more. Okay. Talk to my good friend Willem Dafoe and tell him to do less.
Yeah,
okay,
please.
You fucking idiot.
Also, she's wearing more makeup. This
Hold on, this is true. Baxter Stockman is likable, but doesn't turn into a giant fly. I could not agree more. This is the second time in this series we've seen Baxter Stockman not become a fly.
Wait, I'd have to rewatch it because there might have been a scene where he turns into a fly.
It is possible, but it's inoffensive, fun to look at, and a nice thing to shut your brain off to while recovering from a long week of sweaty haste.
What do you think this person was doing?
100% is a murderer for the government.
You think that's the sweats
Government
for?
assassin, yeah.
Wow, I
He's
feel
like,
like
I'm fucking killing socialists right and left in South America, and I gotta fucking chill out somehow.
watch some turtles.
Turtles, baby.
Yeah, last shot of
Charles,
the movie.
let me ask you this. Over the course of watching this film, and again, this is the 6th film we've watched for this series, I found it hard to remember the individual characteristics of the turtles.
I know it's hard. I mean, they are color coded,
They are color-coded.
which does help, but
They talk different voices.
They do have different voices, and one of them does have a lot of science attached to him.
And different. They hold different things.
Yeah, but I do always find myself being like, wait, which one's the leader character? Which one's the brooding muscle?
I was at a loss constantly.
Right, I had no idea.
Now, this movie attempts to help us and is very generous. In the first part, when we first see these characters, who again are characters who have been in the public consciousness since the mid-'80s,
Yeah.
and this film, which came out 30-something years since they were brought into the public eye, helpfully reminds us with title cards that Leo is the leader.
Yeah.
Raphael is the muscle.
Yeah.
Of course. That's the only thing about him. He's big and muscly. Donatello is the brain or something.
Said the
And
brains.
Mike, this is kind of cute. Mikey, he's the pizza lover. He fucking loves that
It
shit.
didn't even say the pizza lover, did it? It just said
did
the
say
pizza.
pizza lover.
Oh, that's it just said
Pizza
pizza.
hyphen lover.
Oh, I thought it just said pizza. I
Sounds
thought
like
that
a
was
slur.
funnier.
Like for Italians, pizza lover. Fucking pizza lover.
Ah. Yeah, next time I'm in New York, I'll be sure to,
What is it, some kind of pizza lover?
bust
Don't
that
say it
one
in Little
out.
Italy. Oh my God. Don't go down to
Oh.
Mott Street and say pizza lover.
What'll happen?
They'll fucking stab you to death. They're fucking Italians. No, Mott Street's Chinatown. Fuck, shit. Please edit that out. Please edit that out.
Which part?
Please, all of it.
Everything?
Cut everything so far.
Welcome to When Will It End? It's a movie podcast.
We watch it in movies.
1, a 2, or 3.
And now we're watching the sixth one. Okay, so we're watching, of course, Michael Bay's Out of
But
the
no,
Shadows.
I like your point. This is the biggest problem with this movie is that it's not just about the turtles. They do that, 3 or 4 times in the movie? They keep telling us what their roles are and why they should be mad at each other.
Even more, like in a way that's somehow even more offensive, they themselves reiterate their own personal and internal conflicts over and over and over again. And we talk a lot about in this series, like, you're building a world, right? The whole idea of having a franchise that you've created a world.
Yeah.
And you have to show confidence in that world that you've created. And this movie is genuinely horrified, literally from moment to moment, that the viewing audience has absolutely no idea what is going on in the film, what the stakes are, what the objectives are, and every character restates their personal objectives, restates moment to moment what's happened in the film up to that point. It's honestly like, I found it maddening watching this.
No, so I learned at an early age, well, I mean, not early enough, but that my opinion was not the Lord's law and that people that disagreed with me weren't stupid. So
What is the Lord's Law, just out of interest?
Number 1, love your father. Number 2, don't kill.
Is
that right?
That's it? That's the whole one? Don't kill?
2 laws.
2 laws, baby.
That's
Count
right.
them. 1, 2.
I'm a religious man.
I can tell.
Oh God, what was I talking about? Number law. Oh yeah, the Lord's law.
Yes.
Let's give a lesson on the Lord's law.
You learned that subjectivity,
Right.
that your experience of the world is not the letter of everyone else's experience of the world.
But I've unlearned that today
Oh,
because
yeah.
this movie is objectively bad. We're talking about a script that tells you what is happening because they don't know how to make a movie. They have written a plot and then decided that the plot that's it. So there's no tension, there's no stakes, there's no dialogue, there's nothing other than events.
Yeah.
So what they decide to do is have the dialogue be talking about the events that are currently happening.
Right.
So this is an objectively bad movie. I'm not going to say you might have a good experience because you sweat a lot, I guess. This is for the sweaty people. But it's not a good movie. It's a very bad movie.
Yeah, it's legitimately horrifying from start to finish. It's like really like a grave sin. It is the lowest ebb. I feel like we are just very like fickle on this show, that we frequently think we've confronted the lowest ebb of filmmaking. But this is
it.
You know, again, a big part of this podcast, we wanted to redeem the idea of the franchise, the idea that like sequels upon sequels are not necessarily just drivel and cash grabs, but actually capable of expanding a world in a satisfying manner. Of course, you've listened to the show. You've heard us point to examples like Terminator Salvation, Shrek the Third, movies we ended up loving despite being well into a series.
Maze Runner 1, Maze Runner 2, Maze Runner 3.
Maze
All 3, great.
Runner 4 is going to be Deliverance style down the South, baby, and they got to run away from red state voters in MAGA hat. Grab him by the pussy. Remember that?
Yeah, no one said that in a really long time.
Grab
I
my pussy.
applaud you for saying that
This
in
pussy
2019.
grabs back.
Yes, that's a great slag.
This is what a feminist looks like. We're both wearing that shirt right now.
You're wearing a Joanna Newsom shirt, which might be what a feminist looks like.
The guy at the gas station when we were getting Pringies and Celsius was like, "What's your shirt?" And I was like, "Joanna Newsom." He was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "I don't."
You think if you'd said anything, he just would have been like, "Oh, okay."
I think he was like, "I don't want to hear about this."
Why did he ask then?
I don't know. Maybe he liked my shirt.
It's a beautiful shirt.
Yeah, it's like are these radishes or shallots? Or no, not shallots. They're sprouts of some sort. Garlic, maybe.
No, that's not
bulb.
garlic.
It's a bulb. That's a bulb.
Yeah, it's a bulb. It's not a garlic bulb.
It could be a garlic bulb. I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out later. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about this movie. It's just destroying everything we like about film and this series in particular. The most egregious thing to me is something that I was very emotional about during the film. But in the beauty of the first Ninja Turtles movie is that it's like a grimy, gross, ugly New York City movie where it's soaking wet in rain. Everyone's like a fucking lunatic. Everything that's happening is like upsettingly weird because it is this juxtaposition of like models of these horrifying mutants with like real people. And one of the best parts of the movie is that their only real human ally who isn't April is the weird sociopath Casey Jones, who's a grimy lunatic who's super hot and runs around the city fighting people in like hockey gear because he's nuts.
Yeah, he's not good at hockey.
No, he's just like
happens to have a hockey stick.
No, he almost was professional. You forgot the story.
Wait, really?
Remember, he tells April he's almost a professional.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But like, so he's like a lunatic. Like he's fulfilling like a void inside him through violence.
Yes.
Like Raphael, who is his natural counterpoint. More so than Leonardo, which makes it a much more interesting movie. Mm-hmm. You know, anyways, Casey Jones is a wonderful part of the first three films. Having him in a caretaker role in 3 was wonderful to see on the side of Casey. I loved it.
I sort of disagree with you. I think it was good. I don't think it was, in terms of franchise building, it lessened the character for me, number 3.
No, I loved it. He came back and had a new role I think is interesting.
It was fun.
Expanded his capabilities.
He became a babysitter for Mike.
The samurai.
Mike.
He teaches him to love...
Mike, what era Japan, Mike?
Oh, I'm Mike Landis. I love history.
Yeah, what's the era?
Edo period, I think.
Edo period, yeah.
But no, so I like
so
to
like,
teach him to like hockey. It's cute. It's fun.
It's fine.
Just fucking enjoy something. Just look at the movie we just watched.
Oh God.
Tempt 3 is like 1,000 gazillion.
Oh no, I'm saying, but like, this is the end. This is like we came to the end of the franchise. We're now looking back over it all. I'm just saying, yes, if we were to rank Casey's,
Tempt 3 is 2 for sure.
Tempt 3 is 2.
Tempt 3 is 2.
I just sort of.
Tempt 3 is 2.
Was he in? What was Tempt 2 Casey doing? Was he
no
in
Casey?
it?
No
yeah,
Casey,
that's what I thought.
2.
Of course, but honestly, for me, the only Casey is Casey in 1. I think Casey in 3 was. I don't know. He wasn't violent.
Okay, but let's focus
no,
on what we like.
We're getting to 6.
In Casey 1, he's sexy. He's like, him and April have this like really interesting relationship where they're like, there's a lot of tension. They don't like each other. They have to learn how to trust each other. And like, you see this vulnerable moment of them together while they're hiding out. Like, it's a really well told romance.
It is, and it's like the classic. Like the reason why I don't really like early like 40s slapstick what are they called? Not slapstick comedies.
Slappy funnies.
Slappy funnies.
Slappers.
No, what's those movies about people that hate each other and the screwball comedies?
Yeah.
They never really justify at the end the reason why they should fall in love. Like Bringing Up Baby and all those movies, it's about people that are hot, that hate each other, and then by the end they just happen to also fall in love.
Well, there's like this scene like, I suppose I'll go now. Don't go. I love you. I do too. And
yeah.
Like, we don't really need that. It's fine.
But in this movie, it's about two people that hate each other, and you sort of know they're going to become the romantic interests.
Wait, in this movie? We just watched?
No, in 1.
Oh yeah, in 1, yeah. I was gonna say, in this one there's nothing going
there's
on.
the scene at the house where like it's one of the, if you have not seen Tempt 1 in a while, that scene is incredible.
Interesting scene in an ostensibly a kids movie that it's as an adult watching, and I'm like, oh, this is like a dramatic moment that completely carries as a almost 30-year-old.
It's a beautiful lull in another. It's like it's a great movie, but it works. And then we have this movie where they are introduced and immediately are giving each other like the fucky eyes.
Yeah, they're like fucky sucky. Us, we do it.
Holy grabby.
Holy grabby. This movie is a fascist nightmare. It's this like ludicrous pro-cop narrative where no one dies, everything is sexless, other than the most leering, objectifying, like pedophilic nature of like the ongoing character of like Megan Fox playing like a school. Like they literally have her for absolutely no reason dressed up like a schoolgirl. It is so exhausting right off the bat. It's just fucking terrible.
To speak about no one dying, the final scenes with maybe the most comic book appropriate.
Massive Death Star equivalent warping into space from a cosmic vagina.
I'm saying
over New York.
the most appropriate characters are Bebop and Rocksteady. I think they were the most carried over from the 80s and 90s nostalgia.
Yeah.
Their final scene is getting blown up, looking at each other's dicks, is saying "my man."
No, they're locked.
They don't show back up again.
They're locked in a crate, and a hand grenade goes off.
Should have killed them.
And then they give them dialogue, a callback to a dick joke from earlier in the movie. It's the most fucking bloodless, cowardly horse shit. In this movie, when people get thrown out of an airplane, the bad ninjas, they have parachutes. We see the parachutes deploy. Oh, thank goodness.
The pilots are
parachutes. Yeah.
But I'm like, last week we were like, we're done with the series, and then you learn that Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady, and you're like, oh great, let's at least go in knowing that 3 cool characters from the comic books are going to be in this movie. And that's the problem with this movie. There's so many characters that's how they decide to remove them from the movie, is to cut away from them in a box. They're in a box, you cut, and they're gone from the movie.
It's a classic Bane situation from Dark Knight Rises. Where
Such
it's like
bad filmmaking.
Terrible filmmaking. But we can talk about the abominations that Krang is depicted in this film, but I want to go back to Casey Jones. This movie is visual fascism. It's like the rise of like a New York City where nothing matters, where everything is Teflon, nothing is gritty. It's just like a series of like locations to sit and watch people have stilted dialogue. There's no essence to the film at all. It's truly awful. But Casey Jones in this movie is a fucking cop. As if you needed a better explanation of the downfall of this series, they take a like sociopathic, grimy vigilante who's a fucking nutball who oozes sex and is just like a lunatic. And in this movie, he's like a sub Chris Pratt style cop guy.
Well, maybe that's the commentary. Let's run with that for a second.
What conceivably is the comment? He's a cop who aspires to be an even higher ranked cop.
Right. So that's the commentary. This is Michael Bay's secret.
Oh, so this is saying like only a sociopath would want to be a cop.
Michael Bay, he's a froth man, so we don't think there might be a little gems of truth in there because it's all froth. No, he's like, the only cops are stupid donut eaters, like the guy that looks at the like vial of purple ooze and goes, "What this?
Hey,
what is this?
This ain't pizza.
Shove it up my ass."
That's shove it up my fucking ass. But this movie does this horrible thing where it tries to have its cake and eat it too, where the cops are ostensibly villainous in some capacity and yet are never injured and ultimately are redemptive. And at the end of the movie, to underscore the like absolute blood-chilling fascism of this film, they're the ones who celebrate the turtles at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
it's like secret
by
cabal.
themselves. It's exactly.
It's fucked up. Like this kind of like pro-cop rhetoric in New York City, a city that is like the endemic nightmare of police violence against people in that city, is such a, especially in the post-Eric Garner world. This came out in 2016.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe it's like apologetic narrative about like the how cops are just trying to do their job or whatever. Like it's genuinely fucking politically nauseating. This movie does.
It sucks.
And again, this whole cake and eat it too thing, where it's like in all the other movies, they're genuinely, in a much more interesting way, coping with the fact that they are mutinous and freakazoids and wild and out there. And this movie, to like have the ultimate embrace come from the fucking police, it completely throws out everything about these other movies.
Yeah, in the first one, the head of police isn't a bad guy, but he's not a good guy.
But he's a bumbling dick.
He's a piece of shit who like controls things, doesn't really understand what's going on, and doesn't get anything done.
Well, it's the classic Hitchcock thing. Like in Hitchcock despised the police, and in all of his movies, police are inept and they're the punchline. That's like, I'm not saying he was like a fucking Jean-Luc Godard, but he was definitely trying to punch up towards things in society that were like the pretense of authority is inherently satiric and must be like deflated.
Yeah.
And in this movie, it's like cops are basically good, but they're kind of hard asses. But when you learn their respect, oh, they're good now.
Oh, yeah, his line, like, I want to be a detective. I want to put bad guys in a cage.
Yeah, it's like, no, you should be killed. Like,
maybe we should just be getting rid of prisons entirely.
Also, let's say this: the cops are fucking awful at their jobs in this movie.
Yeah. Oh,
they
there's
can't
that cool.
shit.
Okay, I'm gonna paint the scene.
Please paint.
All right, we got the turtles who, up until this movie, have never really talked much about not being seen. They're just like good ninjas. That was my takeaway.
No, they talk about this a lot in their movies.
Right, but I mean, like, it's not that you can't go out in the day. It's just like you have to not be seen.
Yeah, be clever about it. Certainly, yes. It's a very flimsy crutch in this movie.
But it's like they talk about it a lot. They're like, man, we're such freakazoids. I wish we could just go outside. It's like, wait, I thought it was that they were very good at being ninjas and could always just sneak by people.
Well, this reminds me a lot of, honestly, The Secret of the Ooze, which this parrots pretty aggressively with some crucial. Here's the thing in these movies we've learned over 6 films: if you've got something in a cylinder, that shit's gonna fucking fly around the room. People gonna drop it. Whoop. People gonna wrestle for it. Whip, 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 whip. Oh. No, it's similar to Attempt 2. I think there's this whole thing where like this spins its wheels on these characters so much, where it's like the same mistake as Secret of the Ooze, where it's like, we know who these people are.
Yeah, they're turtles. These people are turtles.
These people are turtles.
They're not people.
This is not normal.
Yeah, make fun of them.
Make fun of them. The fucking freakazoids.
No, so here's the scene. Okay. All right, they're like, we got to go into the cops center, and then one of them says, "You'll be seen in the cops center." The leader, Leo.
Yeah,
don't go in the cops center.
Sorry, hold on. Can you run through? I forgot.
I'm sorry. All right.
So
Blue.
we have Blue,
Leo,
Sword,
Leader.
Leader.
You can remember that because there's L's in all 3 of those words.
Slord. Yeah.
No.
Leo, leader, Slord. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, blue. Sorry. Yeah.
Blue.
It's all forward. Slord, blue, leader, Leo. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. We got purple.
Oh, God. I know this one. Oh, okay. I know this one. Wait. He got the Harry Potter glasses.
Yeah,
he
they're saved up.
Wad. He's always like poking at like the beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep.
You know how...
Dinotello.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how you can be so smart but be so dumb?
Yeah, it's the thing. And this movie has a few nerds in it, and it's fun because like they
remember the rapist scientist they were supposed to like think is sort of cute and funny?
Once again, they're like, how would men interact with Megan Fox in the real world? Oh, the most like sexually aggressive, despicable, leering, which is probably true. We live in a nightmare world full of monsters.
I know.
In this movie, like,
but he's supposed to be cute and funny.
Just like in the first movie with Vern, the only conceivable way that Baxter Stockman, played by the inimitable Tyler Perry, could interact with Megan Fox is in like this drooling, like, I know power to the pi to the third. Don't you want to fuck me? Please fuck me.
This is how he starts the conversation. She's like, "Oh, you look familiar." He's like, "Oh, I don't think a woman. I mean, he hadn't even said girl. He's like, I don't think I'm the kind of person that a girl like you would recognize. Hubba hubba."
Yeah.
And then she goes, "No, you're the scientist Barry Stockman or whatever his name is." Is his name Barry Stockman?
No, you're maybe I'm confused now. I'm fucking confused.
And then at the end of the conversation, she's like, "Oh, I just got a call from my boyfriend."
He's like, "Oh,
I gotta go."
Boyfriend?
Wait, you have a boyfriend? I can't fuck you?
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
Are you fucking kidding me? I know Friday the 17th. Your boyfriend playing.
But early, remember, she says, "I'm less of a geek and more of a nerd." The difference between Star Trek and Star Wars.
She says the difference between Lord of the Rings and Star Trek, and the difference between Harry Potter and I don't. Who fucking cares? That's
Harry Potter and Solo. So I would say that in our relationship, I'm the Star Trek guy because I think about big, serious issues of the immoral complexity of the world and the fact that we live in a gray area and we have to negotiate our shared values together.
Right.
And you're more Lord of the Rings, where handsome man kill the goblins.
I'm the handsome man.
You're Viggo Mortensen, kill the goblins.
Ooh, he's so cute.
Is it too late to do a spoof where Vincent Gallo plays Aragorn and he's just like this like slimy?
I don't think anyone. Yeah, it's too late. It's too early. I just don't think anyone would really get that reference.
And there's a sex scene with Liv Tyler that's like disgusting, and you just like want to shower for a million years afterward.
That's a really good idea.
That's pretty good stuff.
That's a really good idea.
That's a good like SNL circa 2003 bit that would
SNL
bomb even then. Yeah,
I don't think anyone would really have the. I think Vincent Gallo would do it.
I mean, I think his career is.
Can you imagine if we made a 3.5-hour movie with him? Like, not just a parody, like a 3-minute parody. Like, he actually just committed to being in a Lord of the Rings style movie.
I mean, that pathetic bully chode like has to like back Trump fake in public to get attention now. So I like fuck him and fuck his career. He's the worst.
Yeah.
Anyways, like, sorry, we're on Donatello. He Purple Man. He does the nerds.
Yeah.
So that's two of the turtles.
Yeah.
Leo, leader, Slord, blue. Leo, Dino, purple, nerd, got glasses, Harry Potter style. He's a Hufflepuff. He's a Hufflepuff.
Don't insult him.
Leo is Gryffindor.
Oh,
Donatello is
shit.
Hufflepuff. Fuck, this is
the four turtles.
Really
Get me acquainted to the four schools.
Okay. And then what? Then Raph is definitely
Slytherin. He's
rad. And he's fucking. Or he's the muscle man. He's so sad.
Wait, what are the colors of the schools of Potter?
Okay, red is Gryffindor's.
Yeah,
and that's Raph. Yeah, red is Gryffindor's. They're red and gold.
What's green?
Green is Slytherin's.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Purple.
Purple is Ravenclaw's.
Yeah,
pretty good.
And shit.
I mean,
shit is
Hufflepuff. There's fucking dog ass turds.
They suck.
Yeah, welcome to House Hufflepuff.
Dumb.
Can we eat your turds?
Yeah.
We're dumb turds. We love eating turds.
That's like
please, I'm a good worker.
That's rather than being like hit behind a portrait of a lady. They're just behind a fucking wall of shit.
Yeah, like here's Captain Gryffindor. If you got a big old sword, here's Slytherin man. If you got potions, here's Hufflepuff. He's eating a fat turd. He loves it too. It's all he's ever known.
Wait, so who's in that? Mikey?
I guess Mikey's like
no. So okay, let's try to figure this out.
Okay, no, Donatello Ravenclaw. That makes more sense.
Absolutely.
Mike Hufflepuff. That's better. Yeah, and then Leo is Gryffindor's. He's probably a Quidditch seeker. Honestly, way fucking catch that shit.
Though Mikey would be pretty good at it because he has that flying skateboard.
And yeah, remember the truck they make in this movie? And the truck shoot manhole covers and has nunchucks because that's what you do. And there's a great chase scene. Oh, the chase scene in this movie. Step aside, Matrix Reloaded. There's a new master of chase scenes.
Wait, I didn't get finished. I want to describe a scene.
Hold on, we only described two turtles. I'm completely fucking lost. Before you do your scene,
we just did it. Mikey's Hufflepuff.
No, but what else about Mikey? Is he horny?
Mikey horny.
And
Raph
just angry. And the thing is, him and Leo don't get along, and they say a couple times in the movie, "We just don't get along."
So in Tempt 1,
yeah,
they all got along, right?
Well, no,
I
there's
mean, but that's the thing is
tension,
there was
but-
tension, but they all got along.
No, but that arc was relatively simple and satisfying, where
Yeah.
it resolves itself by the end of the movie in a way that makes sense. And there aren't these like weird peaks and valleys of teamwork and changing
I hate
objectives.
it. And I'm honestly, I think Tempt. This is very confusing now that we're calling all the movies Tempts. So there's Tempt 1, Tempt 2, Tempt 3, Tempt 4, Tempt 5.
I'm tempted to think of a better fucking system.
So
I got high hopes from living. Temp. Yes. Okay. So they're in the police headquarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So two of them had to sneak in because they want to be humans. Two of them went and go to like literally go look at an alien thing that they could have looked at any time. But
Well, also we as an audience saw just a scene before when the bad guys went there.
yeah, and they explained it then.
Yeah.
And then when the two turtles showed up, they explained it again.
Right. And what this movie loves more than anything else is have multiple people explain multiple pieces of information that we've already been. They do this thing which drives me crazy, where as a filmmaker, the entire premise is like, how much information have I conveyed to the viewer?
Visually.
Right. That through the medium of moving images.
One of the this is the only moving image media, basically.
Right. And the whole premise
Let's
is
use
that
it.
having seen something, we now know that.
We don't need to talk
through
about it.
visual storytelling. And in this film, people talk about what they're doing and why they're doing it while they do it. And then a scene later, someone else explains what we just saw in a scene of strictly dialogue.
And this is why James Cameron's a bad filmmaker. He does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He just hides it better. But so like I'm so lost trying to explain this one terrible scene because every time I try to get there, there's 3 other terrible scenes that are just as fun to describe.
Yeah.
So like Krang says, I got this ship. It's trapped behind a space vagina. You need to go get this thing and this thing. It's a video game. You got 2 subplots or subtasks. What are they called?
Yeah, it's subquests.
Subquests. Yep.
Yeah. Side quests.
Side quests. Oh, there we go.
Stay a while and listen.
Oh, Bane.
Bane, Crane came to Tristram.
So Krang says it. Krang says, this is what you're going to do. It's at the museum. This is what it is.
And by the way, Krang looks like an oyster crammed into a like bionicle. It's fucking awful.
So then Shredder and RoboCop and Rock and
Robsteady.
Yeah. They all show up and he says, oh, this is the thing that we need to get for Krang. It does this and this and this, and this is what we're going to do with it. Great. Twice now we've had it. And then the fucking 2 turtles show up and he scans the hole where the thing used to be. He says, oh, a thing used to be here that does this and this and this, and this is what we're going to do with it.
Right.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Is this like accordion effect to the movie? Where
What the fuck?
Every time it gets to a certain point of plot delivery, it has to stop and expand. It's mental.
Oh, I like that. Like inchworms.
Right.
Like, it's just like it has to catch up with itself.
So this is like a just under 2 hour movie, and every 5 minutes we are given a complete recap of everything that's happened for the last 5 minutes.
and then a tease of what's going to happen next.
Right, so it's like watching a mini series, but like compressed into one
Right.
horrible supercut.
You're saying it's like watching the next time on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right, over and over and over
then
again.
last week on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
Right,
It's-
and unlike Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there's none of the clever verbal repartee of a
Whedon.
a Joss Whedon. No, I'd say this movie is just like it's the beer bad of movies.
All right, so now we're finally getting to the scene. So now we understand where they are. And Donatello gets a call from Mikey, and he says, you got to come to the police station because we've got fucked at the police station. There's ninjas here. So they are. We'll get right on it.
Fuck to the Police Station is a dank noise album name. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Fuck to the Police Station. Rough.
Yikes. So they all show up. They crash through windows. They get the ninjas. The ninjas run off. And the cops show up. There's 8 of them. They're all pointing their guns at turtles, giant turtles.
And one of the cops says,
He says,
they're monsters.
and then cut. They're monsters. It's like, okay, great. Now we know that they hate them.
Yeah. It's also cool because earlier in the film, the turtles say they just see us as monsters. And then someone literally says,
and then
"They're
later in
monsters.
the movie, they say, oh my God, we're
We're
nothing but mutant
And
monsters.
then, no, you're not monsters. We're cops who love you. Cops love turtles. Yes.
But in a scene that I think really, truly captured what real life is like, then 2 also criminals show up, stand in front of the turtles that are huge and could have been shot anyway and go, wait. Okay, guys. And they turn around. So no shots of the police. We don't know what they're up to. Obviously not shooting anybody. And they go, you can go now or something. And then the turtles just leave. Isn't that crazy? So if you commit a crime, let's do this.
Okay.
You're going to commit a crime.
I'm thinking about it right now.
You rob a bank, say.
Yes.
And you should just get all the money in bags, get it ready to go. wait for the police to show up.
Yeah.
They'll surround you with guns. Well, they won't surround you. They'll come out one side of you. They'll give you
Sure.
the back door.
Yeah.
I'll show up and go, wait. Just stand there with my arms up. And then I'll turn around to you and go, okay, go. You can go now. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's safe to go.
Good
And
stuff.
you can just get all the money.
Yeah.
I'll go to jail for a long time, though.
Well, it's cool because, like, obviously, people know that the temperament of NYPD is not one towards, like, pumping bullets into people for infractions like jumping a turnstile or something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that, like, these fascist nightmare murderers don't just, like, gun down everybody instantly. This movie is like, everything about it is, like, the resounding death knell of our horrible culture.
Yeah,
like as a mixture of like oligarchic capitalism and the rise of the surveillance state and this cultural fascism of just thinking about the world and like, you know, you either participate in this grand narrative of this illusion or you're just cast aside. And this movie insists that everyone wants to play along to the same thing. There's no tension, there's no conflict, there's no struggle, there's no dialogue that matters. It's all empty and meaningless. Nothing matters.
If you compare this to the cop scene in Terminator 1, like, as soon as any shit goes down, all the cops are fucking armed to the teeth, and they all get slaughtered anyway. But it's like, everyone has... In this one, like, there's fucking lady cops hiding on the ground, like, covering their ears in terror because two ninjas are running past them. Michael Bay hates women.
That's pretty
We'll say
clear.
it again.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah, but also
except
it's
for
like...
Laura Linney, who's like the cool older lady who says, "You're cool" at the end.
Yeah, you're cool with me, Turtles.
I love you, Turtles. And she's like, you can come out from the sewers now and live a normal life. And the last line is Raphael's like, normal life? Who the fuck wants that shit?
Go ninja, go ninja.
Now, this movie, though, to give it credit, it
Yes.
does throw back to a classic reference to Secret of the Ooze, which you may recall featured a very special guest appearance from a beloved American artist.
The greatest rapper ever.
Circa 1991, Vanilla Ice. So when the psycho cop who aspires to be an even more depraved psycho cop, and by the way, I'm sure Casey Jones in this timeline is a full Dirty Lieutenant, like Bad Lieutenant style Keitel.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd actually be really good.
Just jacking off around teenagers and stuff, and
Yeah.
smoking crack.
Yeah.
There's a great scene where Bebop and Rocksteady go to the bar, and it's Dennis from 30 Rock. He says, "Here's phones," but I call them pickles. It's underworld stuff. And so then Psycho Casey
Do you think
Jones,
Michael Bay and the whole crew like spent time in the underworld? Like, all right, they call cell phones pickles.
Yeah,
Write
no.
that down.
Michael Bay definitely has left his mansion at some point in the last decade.
Yeah. Do you think that's how he knows how journalism works so well?
Oh, yeah, this movie does build to... again, I am, of course, an award-winning journalist. We haven't talked to this on mic yet, but I am an award-winning journalist. I would respect, moving forward, you treat me with the
Should I call you award-winning? I can't even say it.
award-winning
Sorry.
journalist, Josh Landis.
AWJ. I'll call you AWJ.
L.
AWJ.
JJL.
AWJJL. Just
pretty
call you
good.
that. Audril.
Rolls off the tongue. Audril. The movie grows to a really dramatic point, which many of these movies end with April O'Neil giving news reports. And Megan Fox, like in her second performance in the series as a reporter, goes, the Turtles stopped an explosion in downtown. And where they went, we don't know. And we'll find out later more. And Krang was defeated. This is the end of the movie, and she's reading it as though she has never looked at a word before. And it's just like, it's so bizarre.
It's incredible to see actors try to change the way they act when they think they need to act differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Well, also, April Jones' whole thing is like, it's April Jones. I'm on the street. Mamma mia. And she's like, and the Turtles won in the big fight
April
against
Jones?
Shredder. April O'Neil.
Sorry.
Maybe she marry Casey in 3.
that'd be so
There
cute.
better not be a 3. They're going to reboot this series. We will have to watch more of these.
My God, that's so terrifying.
It's very
Can we just
terrifying.
pretend we didn't hear about it?
Hear about what?
Like when they announced Tempt Reboot 3?
Uh-huh.
We could just be like,
Oh, the movie's about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
When the fans...
Okay, so there's 4 of them. I got this.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm just running through the Turtles
Oh, okay,
again because
thank you, yeah.
I forgot.
I bet you got this.
I got this, okay. Which one's Hufflepuff?
You got this.
Who's Hufflepuff?
You got
Mike
this.
Mitchell's
you got this.
Hufflepuff?
You got this. I know
Okay,
you
the
got this.
pizza man loves Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
He orange. He got nunchuck.
Orange.
Okay.
I think that is actually what the Hufflepuff color is.
No, it's Turd Brown from eating shit because that's all they do. They're like, oh, please, Mr. Potter, can we help you? Please, I'm a Hufflepuff.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to take a shit in a couple minutes.
Yeah,
Follow
you want to
me.
eat it? You want to eat this turd? Like, please.
There's nothing I want to do more,
I'm a
Mr.
little
Potter.
shit pig. I'm a little human toilet. Hufflepuffs are human toilets. That's how they get off. Only way they get off. That's canon now. J.K. Rowling's just tweeted it, and there it is. Okay, Ravenclaw is purple like Donatello. Donatello got glasses. He's a dork. He loves with the computers.
Wait, what's the difference between a dork and a geek?
Oh, geeks like Lord of the Rings, and dorks like fucking.
What's the difference between a geek and a dork and a nerd?
One of them eat a turd, another one eat a bigger turd.
It's a Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff, no, Ravenclaw. And then, we got the two guys, they always mad at each other.
Yeah.
They're always mad because Raph's like, why are you the leader, Leo? I should be the leader. Yeah. And Raph red. He's Slytherin.
He's like anger and Slytherin.
He's full of like conflicted psychosexual energy.
This is why everything from the actual Tumpt, so 4,
the actual Tumpt.
I'm just saying Tumpt, what's actually called Tumpt 4, we're going to call Tumpt 4.
Sure.
From that point onward, they decided that the tension that they wanted was to have blue and red hate each other.
Like, remember Blue vs. Red Halo? The show, the fan-made show?
Good stuff. So that's like, in the first 3, that was never really the plot. It was never that like...
No, it's there.
I'm saying it's there, but it wasn't like, we're mad at each other, we're going to split up and join different teams, I'm going to leave the group.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, in 3, it's Michelangelo has to consider his choice to return.
Right, but it was never that he didn't want to be a part of the family. He's like, maybe I found a different connection here. I still love my brothers.
Right, there's some complexity to what's going on.
Here it's just like, I hate you. Why? Because I want to be like you.
Well,
what?
In this one, there's that one really horrible scene where Leo's like, I'm the leader. Fuck you, Raph. And it's like, he's completely out of character.
My only vote that counts is my vote.
Like, just...
My vote's 5 turtles worth of votes. Your votes are only a half a turtle.
5 turtles?
Yeah, he gets the 5 turtle vote.
What's the 5th turtle?
I'm just saying, even if you got another turtle, we max this up to another turtle.
Extra turtle?
Extra turtle.
One more turtle. All right.
One more turtle. But even if you got
shell turtle power, there's 5 of them now.
5 turtles. But
5
even
turtles.
if each of those turtles gets a vote, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Me as blue, I get the 5 turtle vote. You'd have to get 2 extra turtles even to tie me.
So there's like a parliamentary system for the turtle voting? Okay, gotcha.
I get the 5 turtles.
And as you know, if there's no majority of the turtle votes, what you do is you create a coalition. And that's then approved by the Senate president. But in the instance there's a tie goes to Splinter. Splinter, of course, is the vice president of ceremonies in the Turtle Totem. This is better than the movie we just watched. This fucking hog shit that we're doing.
Yeah. Turtle power.
Tears in a half shell. Turtle
I know
hopes
more of those
for
words
a
now.
living. Yeah, we learned at the end. The best part of the movie was definitely when we sang the Teenage Mutant Turtles song.
We also did the Buddy Jag dance.
We did Mayor Buttigieg song in the middle. We did actually get up in this movie and do the High Hopes dance because that's society now. Like another like fascist technocrat who worked with the CIA is like ascending the ranks of American political dreams, and we're just like watching this toilet sink into like hell.
The toilet
America's
sinking
toilet
into hell?
And hell is hell. And it's a coup in Bolivia, and Epstein didn't kill himself. Yeah,
these are hot takes.
It's not good. This movie just feels like this came out in 2016, of course, the year that Donald J. Trump's Tiny Hands Orange Man was elected, and this feels like as foreboding. Like this came out before the election.
Probably.
It feels like a very foreboding thing. Let's see when it came out.
Yeah, find out for me.
I think about what if someone saw this like the first film after the election. This is the first film they saw. I would have leapt into an ocean.
Yeah.
June 3rd, 2016. So this is like, at this point, the race is firmed up. It's definitely, best possible candidate Hillary Clinton against Trump.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what's going to happen? Only a couple months of Obama, man.
Well, let's make Tim's 2.
Well, Tim's 6. Fuck
yeah,
me.
about how cool the ending shot is the 4 turtles on the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it's great. This movie's about America. And like what I like about this movie, Charles, is that in the movie they say a lot of cool stuff. And they say stuff like, which is 4 brothers love pizza, New York City, a liberty, America, and a total faith in the executive branch, the office of the union. Did
you notice that they CGI'd the 2 towers back into the skyline for the last shot? Did you see that?
Well, okay, they do in The Irishman. Sorry, God damn it.
Wait, what? Oh, they do?
The Irishman set in the 70s,
oh, okay.
60s. 70s.
I was just saying Michael Bay loves America so much, he's like, didn't even fucking have it.
Well, this movie does suggest that...
Hey, boys, put those towers back in there.
Like, Mike, they're gone. He's like, no.
Just fucking put them back in there.
Not in my cinematic universe attempt. Attempt 9/11 never happened.
No.
That's implicit in these movies.
Yeah. That's actually very true.
Yeah.
They never happened.
If you think about like the sheer like the trauma of watching the Technodrome appear over New York City in that manner, like it's another classic like version of all these films where horrible things happen to a city, except for Zack Snyder's brilliant BVS, where it's like, what if the whole thing was predicated on Superman doing 9/11 to save the world?
Yeah,
the movie's actually pretty interesting.
We gotta watch it again.
The director's cut is one of the most psycho things I've ever seen.
we found things to enjoy about it.
Yeah, but anyways, so in this movie, this like horrifying thing is about to befall Manhattan, and the collective emotional like impact of this is so negligible. We see no people responding, basically.
No,
so much of the entire end sequence is this dizzying, fucking, absolutely horrible to look at CGI battle on a series of floating platforms against like. Again, we talked about how the Shredder battle at the end of the first one was so bad.
It's so bad.
And somehow this is even less interesting and less fun to look at and less memorable.
You know why?
What at?
I will tell you why.
Please tell me why.
Because in the first battle sequence, there was an actual building.
Yeah.
That was, I believe, actually shot. I don't think that was CGI. Turtle Tower, we called it.
Yeah, Turtle Tower.
Pretty sure that's a real tower that they then CGI'd around. This final scene of this movie is entirely CGI.
Yeah.
Nothing real. And you know what I also realized? That the fucking dumb fucks that they hired to do the CGI for this movie do not understand depth of field at all. And that's why I realized everything looks so weird. It's because everything is in focus.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And like they're trying to keep everything in focus while they're moving the camera at weird angles. Does not work.
Well, also because the color palette is so flat and awful, and it just ranges
bright
from like
and aggressive.
It's
too, at
so
the same
strange.
time.
Like everything is flat looking. So when everything's like a weird gray blue color,
Yes.
it's fucking terrible. Okay, we forgot like a million years ago we were talking about this. Casey Jones goes to the bar where Dennis from 30 Rock works, and he's like, "I'm a fucking psycho lunatic," and Vanilla Ice is playing on the jukebox.
Oh yeah,
and he just breaks everything. And he goes like, "You got to tell me everything about these criminals. You gave them their tech. Can I track them?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can track them. Here's the tracking device." End of scene.
Yeah, cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's,
you know what I also liked was they're like, this is purple shit. It's in fucking Brazil or Bolivia or something.
Yeah, and we have a great experience in Brazil.
You know what happens? They go get it.
Yeah.
It cuts to Brazil, they got it, and then cuts away.
And they have a plane battle.
Less than a minute.
The plane battle is the falling down the snow mountain of the first of these two
Yes.
movies. Legitimately, more just CGI bludgeoning that is so useless and unmemorable.
Yeah.
It's astonishing.
Ugh. That was the scene where I like first got to notice how weird this movie looked. It's in the opposite way, but a similar reaction to something like Gemini Man, where you're like, whoa, this looks weird, but because it looks so hyper real.
Yeah.
This movie looks weird because it looks so, it so badly represents what reality looks like. You're just like, get this fucking away from me.
No, these movies
out of
are
my vision.
nightmares.
Yeah.
Like everything is like sanitized and smooth, and while there's an absolute like cacophony of plot devices, none of it has any texture. So you're watching like nothing slide down a nothing wall into like a nothing conclusion.
Yeah, we talked about we're relieved when like Will Arnett has a moment of like goofing around on an office chair and like pulling out a thing from the wall because everything in that scene was real, no CGI, and it's like, wow, this is so I could relax. I could just like sit down and watch this thing.
It was it's so weird that like the oasis of the movie is just like a scene where there's a pretty delineable, understandable bit going on. Like,
Yeah.
Like.
It felt so safe.
Because they milk these movies just to make them long for reasons I don't understand. Like that's like a 3 or 4 minutes. It's like weirdly long.
Yeah, I'd say it's about 3 minutes.
Right, and it's like weird moment.
Let's tell him. He goes into a room.
This is so good. Okay, so they need.
He's like, I used to be a cameraman, so camera 1, camera 2, camera 3.
Hold on. The whole thing is that to hide themselves, they give all the credit for the end of the first film to Vern Fenwick, the horny Will Arnett man, wanted to dump a load into Megan Fox. Car got blown up in the end. It's very funny. He's a stupid cockfucking.
Great stuff.
And he's the hero in this. He gets to hang out with Carmelo Anthony, which is only an honor that would make sense in a Hollywood movie because obviously Carmelo Anthony was cancer to the Knicks and will be a cancer to the Blazers. Not good. And he says, so he's actually, honestly, probably the second best actor in this movie. Top three.
Was the basketball
Tyler
player?
Perry.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's number one.
Wait, you want to give out
let's
give out our Turtle Oscars.
Yeah, okay. Best lead performance, 0. No one. 3-way tie for best supporting actor, which I would give to in order.
Wait, so this is a tie, but it's still hierarchical.
It's a 3-way tie, but it's...
Well, let's just give out 3 awards.
No.
The first, second, and third place.
There is no lead in this movie.
No,
Everyone
that's what I'm
loses.
saying. So for the supporting actor, we get 3 of them.
It's a 3-way
First place,
tie.
second place, and third. Oh, it's a 3-way tie
It's
for
a 3-way
first
tie.
place.
Yeah.
But you're going to order them.
It's a 3-way... No, I'm just saying... You have to say the fucking names. I'm not ordering them.
Oh, I thought you said in this order.
Yeah, in this order. So number 1 in the tie is Tyler Perry's Baxter Stockman. It wasn't Barry Stockman, it was Baxter Stockman. Number 2 in the tie...
Pretty close.
Number 2 in the tie, I'd give Will Arnett as Vern Fenwick, who's pretty good. And number 3 in the tie, Carmelo Anthony, who actually plays like a, it's a very convincing Carmelo Anthony.
I'm going to give out different Turtle Oscars.
Okay.
For me, also a 3-way tie.
Okay. For Best Supporting?
Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah. And the Turtles.
Also Tyler Perry, number 1.
Yeah, he's great in this.
But they all got the same award, but number 1 goes to Tyler.
Makes sense.
I'm going to give Bebop and Rocksteady the second place.
Which is a double tie in and of itself.
Right, so we're talking multiple ties here.
Makes
It's very
sense.
complicated. Yeah. But we could talk about it again after we go through it just to make sure everyone understood
So
what
just
just
to be very clear,
happened.
what I just did was rank what I thought were the best performances in the movie. Now, what Charles was trying to do is do the same thing from his own perspective.
Right.
So we really have to get to that point where Charles is doing it, which he's doing right now. Okay.
Right. And there are 2 ties in the 3 ties.
There's the main tie, but there's like the sub tie.
Yeah.
And there's like a ranking within the sub tie, which makes sense in and of itself. So let's go to number 3 on your.
Well, I just wanted to say
three-way tie.
why I think there are really bad. I think the worst scenes in the movie are with them, but I think if you get rid of the fart scene and the dick scene and the belly slapping scene, it's like they really work for me, and I think they did a good job, and I give them the award. The Turtle
So except
Oscar.
for 3 of the biggest bits they're in, great.
But I think ultimately, if the movie were better and they got rid of those 3 bad scenes, they would be like, they were really good at being comic book characters in a live action
Do you know what I
movie.
just realized? You talked about earlier how shitty the end of their story arc is in this movie.
Yeah.
Shredder's is 1,000 million times worse. Shredder is so fucked over in this movie. The entire movie.
Well, he was my number 3. So I'm just going to give him Oscar.
Yeah, okay.
Turtle Oscar goes to him. Now you can continue.
Okay. Shredder is given nothing to do but give stupid orders for a bad plan, and then is frozen by Krang and is gone for the entire film. That's it.
That's
Bye,
it.
Shredder.
Doesn't get re-thought out. Doesn't get smashed into
I thought
a
he'd
million
come
pieces.
back at some point.
No, and that's like every single character that's like a big character. Honestly, every character does. They lose. Like Casey.
Hold on. Casey and
Becomes
and April have
he doesn't
a
even
good
become a
alignment.
cop again though. Or no, we do see him as a cop at the end of the movie.
His only dream is to like oppress people and imprison them.
I wouldn't give Will Arnett anything.
I just like seeing his face was nice in a movie.
His character is so awful to me that I like at the end where Michael Bay uses women cops 3 times in this movie. One of them is to cower in fear by running ninjas. Mm-hmm. And the second and third are to stand on the left and right sides of Will Arnett while he catcalls them or whatever.
Yeah, he's trying to get some stray pussy from knowing the Ninja Turtles, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's very funny. It's
I got
it's
one
very
of those,
horny.
you know.
Yeah.
I got a key to the city. I love their
You
key
wanna
to
fuck
their.
with me? You
All
wanna
right.
fuck
Anyway,
with
Turtle Oscar for best. Wait, what? Best actress? We just skipped
Best actress. This
we,
is tough.
We skipped the best.
No best actress.
Yeah, we skipped the best actor and actress.
Right.
None.
I would give it best supporting to Laura Linney. Got the Linney effect. Bring that Linney lineage to the movie.
I mean, there really weren't that many characters.
There's
that were-
Shredder's sidekick.
Yeah, so
Julie.
that's what I was going to give.
She
It.
wasn't bad.
I'm giving it to her because I think I'm trying to think of more women characters in this movie, and I'm drawing a blank.
Well, I just saw Martin Scorsese's brilliant The Irishman. And there's a paucity of female characters in the movie because at the end of the movie you realize that the entire movie is about like the nightmarish husk that violence leaves you. It just strands you alone on an island of nothingness where your life has no meaning or love in it. And it's really brutal and fascinating. And it's like the condemning eyes of women are this motif throughout the movie. It's actually magical and builds to a climax that's absolutely crushing.
Don't tell me.
Oh, that's the spoiler.
No spoilers.
At the end, everyone was the Irishman. And the Irishman was a dream that we all had.
Wait, everyone was the Irishman?
What we learned at the end of the Irishman is that the real Irishman or the Irishman we
It's
met along
me.
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, best. Well, I mean, that's it. Now we're just choosing between ones because best director is.
Yeah, Dave Green.
What else can we give out?
Gets
Oscars
a bullet to the
towards?
head.
What's your favorite pizza moment?
Oh, this is very good.
I got mine. Mine's
The
already locked
Turtles
in.
love the Knicks, and they sneak into Madison Square Garden to watch the Knicks
That's
from the
mine.
roof. It's very
Fuck.
good. It's the only one in the movie. Now, you remember in Secret of the Ooze, everybody loved the pizza in New York City.
Hey.
You know, everyone's eating the pizza.
The slimy, stringy
Spicy
pizza.
pizza, pepperoni. Hey, okay. So in this movie, they're eating pizza and watching the basketball, which, as you know, New York City, the Knicks. Everyone loves the Knicks. Great basketball team, beloved by all. Not trapped in an endless cycle of horrifying awfulness because of James Dolan, the worst owner in the NBA, and that Donald Sterling has been kicked out. Anyways, Mikey drops his pizza onto the legendary parquet court in Madison Square Garden.
Sploop.
And one of the guys in the Clippers slips and lands on his butt, and he goes like, "There's pizza on my Nikes."
Wait, there's a better one. So the ref comes over and is like, all right, it's a jump ball.
Because Kristaps Porzingis fights for the ball from the guy in the
Right.
Clippers.
So
I
the
did not
ref comes in and he's
recognize
like, rather than like giving it to the guy with pizza on his shoe, he goes, all right, it's a jump ball.
And then the guy in the Clippers like, "What the fuck, dude? There's pizza on the court."
And then the ref says,
Welcome to New York. Oh,
Best pizza
If you want to
moment.
go and take a ride with me, and I'm the kind of fun, and I can't just say,
Hey, dance for the money.
Must be the pizza. If you want to go in New York City, there's gonna be pizza on your Nike. That's pretty good.
Hey.
Anyways, great movie.
So that was
There's
like
pizza
that goes
from-
the best
yeah.
pizza award, best
Right.
pizza turtle Oscar.
And then they have to run home. And they fight for the pizza, and it's stupid.
what's your? Let's give out a Razzie, a Razzie turtle.
Ooh, honestly, the worst of this movie. Like, who's the worst performance in the movie? Michelangelo wins 1,000,000 awards for being the worst character in these
Yeah.
two movies. It feels like watching a week of Michelangelo every fucking movie. He's awful. The characterization
Though
is
Krang
awful.
was really bad too.
But
And,
Krang, I feel like it's so underserved because I love Krang in the animated series.
Yeah.
In this movie, he shows up to introduce the plot for the villain, then vanishes until the very end, where he shows up again to fight the turtles, and then is gone again.
Yeah.
So he's barely even.
I'm
in
just
the
saying
movie.
his voice acting.
Oh, but
I know that
Brad Garrett.
Yeah, I know that Michelangelo is in more of the movie, and it's probably worse. But like, I'm just trying. Like, the direction was, "Hey, Brad, can you just like scream like an angry child?" He's like, "Yeah, I can do that. I'm Krang."
According to the IMDb, Fred Armisen was supposed to play Krang originally,
Oh,
which I think would have been interesting. I guess
probably better.
probably better, but again, I think you're playing for such a small prize at this point because the role is so.
We were waiting for like that was we were like, all right, we hate the main characters in this movie. Let's just hope there's some cool cameos. And then like they did the reveal shots of people as though they were famous people, but then no one was actually interesting or famous. I missed Whoopi.
No Whoopi. Though I learned from the IMDb trivia, we missed this. Judith Hoag, who played, of course, April O'Neil and Tim Tuan, appears as a cameo as, I don't even know when this happened in the movie, but she plays April's boss for a moment, which I have no memory of in the film. That being said, like again, Megan Fox is
Wait, what?
cancer on the eyes, and she's very bad at acting. So I tuned out
Wait,
a lot of
her
her.
boss shows. Yeah,
Apparently?
we
I
really
don't
didn't.
know.
We really didn't get much out of this
It's
movie.
hard to look at. You know, because I think
It
even
is.
watching Secret of the Ooze, even watching Tempt, the animated one, like there's like some visual things going on that are at least like, okay, like they're making some choices here. This is interesting.
Yeah.
And this again, it's like turning New York into the most boring, least interesting possible environment, which is astonishing. It's New York.
Yeah, this movie, like we literally were averting our eyes as though we were staring into the sun. We're not even joking. It's just like it was. I mean, I guess I'll have to give it some credit for doing something that other movies don't do, which is
Like,
be so repulsive.
Weaponizing banality and something that's actually like painful.
Yes, this was a hard movie to watch, and
Yeah.
like this is something that could be used as a punishment, torture.
Yeah.
Like if my kid's bad when I have kids, fucking Mike. I'm gonna name him after the fourth turtle, the Hufflepuff shit eater. Because I know
Sorry,
he's gonna be
can you-
bad.
that's
My son Mike.
Orange. Okay, your son Mike, yeah.
Yeah, the
Orange
Hufflepuff.
Man,
He's
Orange Man.
the horny
Wait,
one.
he's Orange Man like Trump?
Orange. I'm just gonna name my son Orange Man.
Honestly, I bet Trump and Michelangelo both love pizza. Like
my
this,
God.
I bet he eats nothing but cheese pizza. It's
Yeah.
so delicious. Yum yum.
Yeah, and we're like, if you don't shut the fuck up, Orange Man, it's Tempt 2 time. No, not Tempt 2. Hey, we're Tempt 2. Hurts my eyes. And I'm gonna hook him up to the machine in Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, the Ludovico technique.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier. It's about that time, I think,
Oh yes.
and we've decided that for the rest of the month we're gonna do the turtle challenge.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain the turtle challenge?
Okay, so in this movie,
He's already enacting the turtle
I'm enacting
claw.
doing it right now. So making the turtle claw. So famously, the turtles have not but 3 fingers.
Well,
two
one
big
one
old
thumb.
stubby guys and a little thumb. So two main finger apparatus guys and a little thumb.
Wait, do they have opposable thumbs?
Yeah,
Or is
of
it-
course. They hold so much shit in these movies.
Yeah.
Dude.
Wow.
Anyways, so the idea is that for a second, Donatello reverse engineers the ooze. So he's like, we could maybe be people, and that's a stupid subplot where they obviously reject that.
That's shit.
They don't even take
That's
it that
such
far.
shit.
It's so dumb. I thought at least maybe we'd see them turn into people for a minute, like in most
I know
movies
that would have
do
been
that, like
insane.
Shrek 2.
I was waiting for that. I was like, this could actually be so repulsive. It could be a fucking miracle.
But they don't do it. Anyway, so for a minute we were like, okay, so they have human hands for a minute. Would that make it easier for them to pound their puds? Because they're not just
Yeah.
like ramming with these like massive mitts on their little peckers.
Well, I feel like if you use enough lube, you could just slide it between the 2 big fingers.
I see what you're saying. They're sort of like doing like a
Yeah, just lube it up.
a Spock sign on their dicks.
Yeah.
Like an up and down Spock sign,
Yeah.
sideways up and down Spock
Though,
sign on dick.
you know what? I don't see Raph as a lube guy.
I think me and Raph bare knuckle it the same way.
Yeah?
We just go for it.
Just go for
You know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why Don and I are the same. We probably have some sort of crazy apparatus that gets us off.
and we can get into that in the next episode. But yeah, so I was saying this month to show respect to the turtles. If you're listening,
and you want to join
regardless
in,
of your genitals, this is not a gender-specific activity.
no,
Only
anyone can do
masturbate
it.
using what we think would be the approximation of a turtle hand, which is to say, put your pinky and your ring finger together, and your middle finger and your index finger together separately, of course, into two big fingers, and your thumb on the side, and you can only jerk off like that to see what it's like to be a turtle.
We're gonna call this December turtle bait member.
Oh, good thing we talked through this, because the thing you just thought of is great.
Turtle bait member.
Turtle mate member. What a horrible thing you just said.
No,
but yes, so
because it masturbate. Turtle and December.
Right, great.
But member also is another word for...
Remember? Oh,
no,
member.
member is another word for penis.
But that's, come on.
I know, it doesn't
We're
have...
an inclusive podcast.
I know, you can do it to your...
I don't want to start this around that kind of genitals.
Do you think the turtles say one in the stink, one in the pink?
They do the shocker?
Yeah, but it's always the shocker.
I don't think anyone's butthole can handle a turtle-sized finger.
Give me a fuck. I've seen enough.
Give me a fuck. Give me a fuck. Okay, this is the end of these horrible movies. The turtle.
We gotta rank them. That's my favorite part of this show.
Part of the show. Okay. Number one has to go to Tim.
Wait, so we gotta always explain how we're doing it.
Okay, sure.
Are we doing it alternating back and forth? Or are we doing our whole list as once, and the other person does their whole list?
Let's do whole lists.
Okay, when you're ranking, are you doing number one is number one, or number one is number six?
Number one is number one.
I was saying, are you going like in last places?
Best to last.
Best to worst. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
Here's how my ranking goes. I would go Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1.
Are you gonna say it? The whole
Tempt 1.
No, it is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right. The first movie like kicks open the door. It's a wonderful film. I loved watching it with you. It was awesome.
Yeah.
2 has to go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. It's a staple of my childhood. I like how complex it gets. I think because it's more of like, it's essentially like a samurai film. I can't give it number one because it's not the essence of the series, but it's like the best exploration of what a sequel can be. I think it brings in these cosmic time warping effects going between generations. I loved it.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
I think this is also an interesting with franchises is that like some of them like Shrek and Austin Powers, like number one was really just a throwaway. It's like, here's the world, we're going to do more later, don't worry about it. And here we're at, like, I agree with you, one is one, and like this is it. This is the world they created because they were just making it, and then everything that follows does feel a bit like a sequel even when they're good.
Yeah. Very little stands alone. Like 3 doesn't work without 1.
No,
but I still love it. For 3, I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and say Tempt, the animated film, for number 3.
I think that's a fine limb to stand on.
I think that it's not a successful film in that they weirdly overburden the plot, but I think the character development and the vision of New York is interesting, and I think it tries to do some cool stuff and has Patrick Stewart in it.
Yeah.
4, I got to go Secret of the Ooze. It's a trash piece to me. Obviously, we have debated this in the prior episode. I quite enjoy it. I think that it has flaws, but at the end of the day, there's like enough dumb stuff going on, and we're still back in that same greedy world of the first movie. And then, I don't know, tied for dead last are these Michael Bay produced fucking nightmares. I can't really do a 5 and 6. They're just both so miserable.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. I mean, it's really like a decimal point difference here. I guess this is worse than the first one. But like we're talking, like these are films no one should see that should not have been made, that destroy some of the best parts. Like the depiction of New York, Casey Jones, Megan Fox ruining April O'Neil, really just turgid, awful shit. So they're tied for last. I can't pick. They're both truly awful films.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's really cool. I think in the future, I actually like going back and forth because now everything I say is just going to be boring.
Well, what you say is generally boring. You're uninteresting to me. I care little about you.
Yeah.
Anyways, do your fucking bullshit. All
right. Well,
I have to pee.
Okay. The first one is number one in my book.
Of course.
It sets it up. We talked about it. We already said all this. Tempt 3, I mean, I can't give it number one, but it is a samurai movie, so I would say it's number 2.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I know it's sort of
That's
weird.
a fine limb to stand on.
Yeah. I'm going to give Tempt 3rd place.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it did do some cool special effects. It has Patrick Stewart in it. But yeah, overall, it didn't really work, but especially comparing it to the rest.
Oh, of course, yeah. Pretty good stuff.
I'm going to have to give 4th place to number 2.
Sure, that makes sense to me. Yeah. Secret of the Ooze.
It's a trasher piece, of course. We've talked about this a lot.
I've got high hopes for the oozing.
But yeah, it really didn't work. It felt like let's take all the... What was one? Oh, we had pizza, we had turtles, we had ninjas.
More pizza, more ninjas. Same amount of turtles. Oh, more turtles because they had the fucking snapping turtle guy.
Yeah.
Hold on. Just as a shout out to Secret of the Ooze, the secondary Foot Clan hideout is cool.
We fucked up.
Why?
We should have done the Turtle Oscars for the whole franchise.
Fuck that. No, fuck that.
We should give it
No.
No. Okay.
No, we are not prepared for that. That's 20 to 30 minutes that I do not want to have. No.
Okay. Fine. But I do want to interrupt my ranking to talk about how shit. One of the things that I've loved so much about these movies is the care and attention they've made. Like, they've made really cool hideouts.
Yeah.
And I've loved it. Even Tempt 2, like the hideout was bad for the turtles, but they really made that cool tire wall. Like, they created spaces that didn't look forced. They were just like really cool forts. Not forests. Forests.
Not a lot of forests in Manhattan.
This one, the fucking dump truck, where they like, let's put flaming pipes. Shit, I just fucking maxed
You
that
think
shit
so?
out.
Yeah. Oh my, that's like a gunshot. By the way, is a gun ever fired in this movie? Does anyone actually fire a gun?
No.
'Cause movies fucking suck.
Sucked. They were like, oh, the first two had hideouts and cool shit to hang out in. Let's show it through windows only and have it be like, oh, there's maybe an arcade. It's like we're peering into the broom shop in fucking Diagon Alley. We never get to go inside.
Yeah.
Never get to buy a broom.
And these movies, the action movies, these are about the toys. You know what I'm talking about? Play with the toys. I'll get those toys out and play with them.
So I got to give, fourth to 2. And then I guess it's got to be a tie for 5 and 6.
Wow.
There might be a decimal point difference. I'll probably do 5 and then 6. But
Makes
basically,
sense, yeah. Pretty bad stuff, yeah.
bad.
So you excited
man.
for the reboots, the Michael Bay produced reboots of this?
Wait, they're rebooting the reboot?
They're rebooting the reboot. Yeah, I'm not joking. This is happening.
No,
According to the internet, it's happening. Yes.
It's not a sequel to 2.
No, they're rebooting it. They're starting all over again.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, this is like a crater you have to like crawl away from.
But why are they hiring Michael Bay again?
He's so good at movies.
Who hires the producer?
Oh, in this movie, remember when
The
they went
studio
to the Halloween parade and Michelangelo's like, these are my people. I love New York. And he sees a Transformer and you're like, oh, because Michael Bay did Transformers too.
Yeah, it's an extended universe.
And not
thing.
just Transformers 2, like the whole series.
Yeah, TOO.
Not just the sequel to Transformers 1.
Right, we got it. TOO.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good stuff.
Transformers OO.
Wow. Like, I had high hopes for this series, but
I didn't.
yeah.
I didn't want to tell you that from the beginning, but I was never a turtle head. I just sort of played along with my friend who loved turtles.
Is it Rat Race when they say turtle heading about having to take a shit?
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of things say that.
I think it's Mad
Max.
Mad
Fury
Men.
Road.
I think in Mad Men they talk about turtle heading.
All right. Well, we're
done. We're out. We're free
moving on,
from
but let's
the turtle cage.
What's coming up next, Josh?
What's coming up next, Charles?
We're excited.
I'll fucking tell you, Charles.
What's going on?
We were like, let's break out of the action heavy.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of
realm.
action. Well, we did Terminator for 6. We did Turtles for 6. We did Pirates for 5.
All right, you hate us now. You, the listener, despise us. Because these movies are long and endless, and these series go on forever. So we're going to mix up, do something fun and light, and a little bit of fun. A little bit of fun, light. Yum, yum, yum.
And hey, how short are they? Just 3 films?
Just 3 films. I think
So that's
they're
nice.
pretty conservatively paced, which is
Yeah.
great. Yes, we're going to watch the Harold and Kumar trilogy.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I'm not a stoner. I don't do drugs. Straight edge.
You're not. You drink prolifically.
I'll beat you up, boys. What does straight edge say? They beat up.
Yeah, it's true.
They beat up people that are fucked
And look,
up.
hey, edge men out there, and edge women, edge people, you can also watch the stoner film.
Edge
just
turtles.
don't smoke with the pot.
Yeah, just pretend, just laugh at it.
Just laugh like they.
I know
all
I'm
these
gonna.
friggin' stoners.
Yeah.
they love to eat snacks, and sometimes they hallucinate. It's fucking great.
So we're excited. We're going to tell your hamburger stories. We're going to tell your stoner stories. We're ready for a change.
A change of pace.
But we'll both be here. So
Well, it'll be us.
unfortunately-
And just a reminder, I'm like Raphael, who is Slytherin and full of soul and rage. And you're like Donatello, a sort of geekwad, nerdy Lord of the Rings kind of guy. Likes to play with the computers and look at them go.
That's us.
That's us. Okay, I have to pee. This is good. This is good pre-roll. Do you like when people say that, like in the pre-roll stuff? Like, this is good pre-roll.
Yeah.
It was good pre-roll.
That song?
If I'm gonna hide for a living, him and that man I didn't, him and I didn't, hip at high. Everybody loves their health care. We should not change everybody's health care. Medicare for all will bankrupt the nation. Gotta fight a war now coming for you, Iran. And how do we budget our time on the show? Burning a Grateful Dead CD and eating Pringles. We are good
Boing.
at our jobs. This is good pre-roll for our jobs. We're peaking a little bit.
I like it while pre-roll becomes post-roll.
Yeah,
Isn't that cool?
it's like how pre-cum can become post-cum if you don't cum at all.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's true.
Fuck.
1, 2, 3. They're coming in loud. I'm sorry.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You're quiet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Because our gains are the same. That's weird. Huh.
Do
1,
your
2, 3,
job.
4,
Do
5.
your fucking job.
I'm doing my fucking job.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 1,
I'll
2,
talk
3.
normally.
So now you're peaking.
Stop it.
It's way too loud.
All right. No, that was me yelling.
I know. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Just give me a normal. Ha 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 ha.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1,
You know what I hate about Ninja Turtles?
What do you hate about Ninja Turtles?
That's how I'd say that sentence. So